What's up, guys? So today, I want to talk a little bit about protein, and the reason why I want to talk a little about protein is because people are asking me about ulcerative colitis and my experience with it, and how I dealt with it. And while most of you might not have ulcerative colitis, I'm pretty sure that all of you have some experience with protein. Um, and I'll get to why I'm going to be talking about these two things in a second, but if you have ulcerative colitis and you want to hear more about my story with it, I've done a lot of videos about it in the past. You can search back on this channel. And then maybe next week or so, I'll put out another video about ulcerative colitis. But this video is going to be for everyone out there, and it relates back to ulcerative colitis. And we'll be talking about protein intake. One of the biggest myths I've seen in the fitness industry and in bodybuilding is the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight myth. And it's a myth that I've propagated in the past. It's a myth that I fell for. And it was because, when I was growing up during the 90s, all we didn't have the internet really back then. We had bodybuilding magazines, and bodybuilding magazines were run by supplement companies, and supplement companies sold protein supplements. And so bodybuilders were talking about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then you know we those bodybuilders got sponsorships from the supplement companies, which good for them because there's not a lot of money in bodybuilding in the first place. But the other thing that was going on was that people kept raising the number. So when somebody was eating 1 gram per pound of body weight, it got around to becoming 2 grams per pound of body weight. And before you know it, we have everyone and their mother eating 400 to 500 grams of protein per day, which is harsh. Even if you're, 180 pounds, 170 pounds, and you're eating 250 grams of protein a day, it's a lot. Even if you're eating 200 grams of protein per day, it's a whole lot. When we actually look at the literature, when we actually look at the scientific studies, what we find is that the upward limit for protein consumption, as far as benefits for muscle mass goes, is actually between 0.6 and 0.8 grams per pound of body weight per day. And so I resisted for a really long time. I always tried to keep my protein intake really high because I wanted to say, all right, I ate 5 pounds of meat today. I had my 6 chicken breasts and a steak, and it's because I was trying to, toe the line, one up everybody, go along with what everybody else was saying. But I wasn't paying attention to what was going on with me. You know, ulcerative colitis flare-ups. It didn't matter that I was running to the bathroom 20 or 30 times a day when I first started getting the symptoms of ulcerative colitis, because I was telling myself, well, I'm doing this because I want to get jacked, because I want to get swole. I'm going to drink this gallon of milk here because I want to get jacked. I want to get swole. I don't care about my health. This is all I care about right now. But when it becomes so debilitating and that you're losing blood and you can't think straight because your brain's all fucked up, and you can't take personal training clients because you can't get through a personal training session because you gotta sprint to the bathroom so you don't shit your pants, it's a pretty good sign things are pretty screwed up, right? And so that's when I started paying attention. Now, I don't know if a lot of you are having gastrointestinal issues. I don't know if you're perfectly normal, but regardless of where you are, and again, I'll talk about ulcerative colitis at another time, let's look at some other facts about protein, right? Protein, particularly animal protein, contains a number of toxins when it's broken down that get released into your body. We're talking about like ammonia, we're talking about sulfur. And all these toxins have to be processed by your liver and kidneys, and they have to be excreted. But that forces the liver and kidneys to overwork themselves and can also raise the levels of toxicity and inflammation in your body, total body chronic inflammation. So what we have going on there is a formula not for increased recovery, not for increased muscle mass, a a formula for achy joints, for body aches, and for early aging, and for feeling like crap and getting gastrointestinal issues, and a formula for diseases like cancer down the line. So when we think about the amount of protein people are taking, and again, I'm not saying that protein's a bad thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat meat. I eat meat, though there's some people out there who might have differing opinions than mine about that. I am saying that eating the amount of protein that's generally recommended by the bodybuilding community is fucking ludicrous. It's insanely stupid. Um, when the literature actually says that you can build muscle off of 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. What are some other facts we have here? Well, we know that high protein consumption also turns on the mTOR gene, mammalian target of rapamycin. And what that does is it helps to age us, makes us get old, makes us start to break down, right? We also know that protein leads to increased levels of IGF-1, which of course helps to build muscle, but it also helps to increase the likelihood of cancer. So when we're going above that 0.6 to 0.8 gram per pound of body weight threshold, we're putting ourselves at increased unnecessary risk of cancer. Now, I realize that there's a lot of you out there who say, okay, well, I don't care. I just want to be swole. I don't care if I die from cancer. And I am a libertarian. I believe that everybody should have the right to pursue their liberty in the way that they choose to do so. So I'm not opposed to drugs. I'm not opposed to cigarettes. I'm not opposed to steroids. I'm not opposed to any of it. But you have to understand what the risks are. So for those of you who want to keep pursuing this, by all means, go ahead. For those of you, however, who want to have long, complete lives, who want to get the most of your time out on here on this earth, who want to get muscular, want to pursue their fitness goals, but who also have goals outside of that, like maybe raising a family, living to the age of, 85, 90, 100, whatever, you got to consider things like this. And it's things you have to learn about. And when we're learning from substandard sources, this is why I say question everybody. Question me, question everybody here on YouTube. But yeah, especially question me. Don't believe everything I'm telling you. Go and look this shit up. Your own health is in your hands. Your body is in your hands. Your time on this earth is in your hands. And so the fact is that you could probably build a lot of muscle by consuming less protein, live healthier, and live to an older age while getting a lot more shit done because you're not cooking meat all the time, and be able to, get all your fitness goals by consuming a bit less protein than you are right now. That's about it, I think. If you guys have any questions about this, I've written articles about this. I'll try and link it below, but it's somewhere on chrisalbertfitness.com. And, I hope you listen. I hope you take some of this stuff into account. You don't have to listen. I'm not saying that, you're going to fall apart and start growing tumors out of your head if you eat, 200 grams of protein a day. But I am saying that what you're doing right now might not be the healthiest thing in the world. And it might not, it might not necessarily be helping you to get to your goals. It might be overkill. All right. Talk to you all soon. I love you all. Peace.